you believe that increasing the top marginal corporate tax rate would stifle innovation and harm our economy?
Well, I mean, by definition, first of all, the government is already way too big and we shouldn't raise taxes as it is. I mean, we have a $6 trillion federal budget right now.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. My name is Eleru, and today I'm back to the video check out with you guys. This is called Charlie Kirk crushes Socialist demanding higher taxes. You know how it goes, guys. We talk less and we react more. Let's check this out.
I'm the vice president of the College Democrats of Washington, but I love having debates with and learning from folks with whom I disagree. My question is about the corporate tax rate, and specifically the top marginal corporate tax rate. Why do you believe that increasing the top marginal corporate tax rate would stifle innovation and harm our economy?
Well, I mean, by definition, first of all, the government is already way too big and we shouldn't raise taxes as it is. I mean, we have a $6 trillion federal budget right now. But it depends on what you mean by a corporation. Do you mean Apple or do you mean your local laundromat?
Well, the top marginal corporate tax rate, so let's just say for large cap companies over $10 billion.
Fair enough, yeah. Because the way that the tax code is written is that you could form an S corp or a C corp or an LLC and they get treated very similarly. But I mean, what is your question? Why do I think it will stifle innovation? Well, the more the government takes, then the less money the companies will have to actually invest in products for research and development. And I'm not a defender of corporations. In fact, I think corporations are doing a lot of damage to this country right now. So.
Yeah, but I would personally advocate for increasing it perhaps to double what it is right now at 21%.
Of course, you're a Democrat. You want more money that isn't yours.
No, because when you say that like increasing this tax rate will stifle innovation, the entrepreneurs themselves disagree with you. Bill Gates himself called this idea "quote unquote" nonsense.
Yeah, it's easy for Bill Gates. He's worth $120 billion, so he can jet around the world complaining about climate change and trying to get people to take vaccines they don't need. It doesn't affect him, right? Microsoft is worth $3 trillion. They're too big to fail. This is very simple. All taxes ultimately do this. They forcibly take money away from an efficient part of our country and they transfer it to an inefficient, bloated, corrupt part of our country. The government. That's that simple. Ooh. So it's not that we should have zero taxes. It's that you're calling for doubling, which is to take more money from an efficient part of the economy towards a bloated federal government that is already spending $6 trillion a year, the biggest the government has ever been.
I mean, I would push back on the idea that it is an efficient part of the economy. Look at, for example, Microsoft and Apple. Both of these companies have over $150 billion in cash on hand, not cash that is being used for R&D, cash that is just sitting in bank accounts. And I would like to point out that these two companies, the two most valuable companies in the world, were founded while the corporate tax rates were significantly higher than they are right now. So of course now, like they're massive behemoths, it doesn't affect them. But when these companies were getting started, like the corporate tax rates were incredibly high.
Because it didn't impact them, because they were getting started. It didn't impact them, they were getting started, like you said.
No, but even when they, after they got started. And
hold on, let's play this out, because they weren't turning a profit for the first 30 years. Like, learn something about Microsoft's history.
No.
Hold on a second. They didn't pay any taxes for 20 years. No corporation worth any salt or an accountant that knows what they're doing is not going to pay any taxes for 20 years. Why? You're going to intentionally show losses to not pay taxes. Taxes, by definition, are only going to be on profits. So Apple and Microsoft, being very nifty, they said, we're just going to keep on showing deficits and showing losses, therefore evading all corporate taxes for 20 years. And where do they get their money? By boosting the stock price, by going through an IPO, an initial public offering, and then eventually going on the public market and boosting their valuation by showing losses, but their valuation is actually much greater than the quote-unquote profit. Does that make sense? The profit margin. So the argument doesn't
No, but when you look at the profit margins, Microsoft was an incredibly profitable company, even within 15 years.
They are now, obviously.
No. Even at the beginning, software is the biggest money printer in the history of the world.
They weren't profitable. That's the point, is that they spent more than they brought in. They had good revenue. You know the difference in revenue and profit, obviously.
No,
yeah, but these companies intentionally did not turn a profit for the first couple decades. They'd be silly to do that.
No, they were profitable. That's my point. They had a price-to-earnings ratio. Microsoft in the 80s and the 90s was a profitable company.
No, I understand, but the point being is that these startup companies, I'd have to go all the way back into the business literature of every single year, they intentionally, just using as an example, their stock as leverage to not actually post earnings. So if you want to tax revenue, that's a separate issue, right? Because a lot of these
I'm
companies
talking
aren't
about
even.
profit, yeah.
What?
Not revenue, profit, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a separate issue. But again, we have a difference of opinion here. I don't want to give the government any more of our money, and you do. And so we just disagree.
Okay. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
That was nice, cordial, and friendly, if I'm to add. No heat there at all. And on a subject that usually creates much force everywhere. Issue of tax. Now, this student is of the opinion that corporations should be given higher tax based on how much they're worth and all that. And Charlie is saying he doesn't quite agree with the idea of corporations in the country, that they are doing more harm than good. But the thing is, the masses actually need the money. And he does not support taking money from an efficient part of the economy to an inefficient part of the economy, according to him. He says he does not want to give more money to the government who already have more than enough, according to him. Which is funny though. You know? Not just him, but I think virtually almost everyone around the world agrees on one solid thing. They don't want higher tax. Nobody actually likes that. In fact, people actually find a way to evade the little tax they are given. And here we see a student actually advocating for more tax on the companies. And just as Charlie stated, based on their history, you can see that for those countries, for these corporations to actually thrive, they actually evaded taxes in their early days. You know, taxes are based on your profit as a company. They're based on what you see at the end of the month, what goes into your pocket, if I'm to put it that way. So they recorded more losses than profits in order to evade that tax, to enable them grow. And when the student also quoted Bill Gates saying that he doesn't agree with Charlie, called it nonsense talk, he said Bill Gates is worth $150 billion. That either way, they can't fold up. The taxes won't affect him. So the thing is, imposing higher tax on corporations that can actually afford it is not going to actually do anything in the economy. And if the tax is imposed higher, the masses are also going to suffer. Who then loses? Who then gains? Still the people that you are trying to, submerge. It's still the people that you are trying to impose more taxes on. They're still the ones who are going to gain from it. Because they can't go bankrupt. They can't fold up. Their net worth is so high that they won't even feel it. So, according to Charlie, there really is no point in increasing the tax to give to the government. It's a futile effort. Yeah, very futile effort. It's not going to do any good to anybody. You should just leave the tax rate at the affordable rate that it is. That's it. I'm sure you guys learned a lot from this video. Please leave a thumbs up at the end of this video and leave your comments in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.